Welcome to Guilty by Association, the Vantaca podcast, your source for insights, trends, and tech shaping community association management. I'm Eddie Key, and with the Vantaca team, we'll chat with industry leaders, tech partners, and association managers nationwide. Whether you're here for expert advice or industry updates, our guests all have one thing in common. They're all guilty by association. Well, let's dive in.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Guilty by Association. This morning, I've got Haoyu Zha, the founder and CEO of HOAi, and we're going to talk a little bit about your story. We're going to talk a little bit about the future of where you see your business and our business and the business going, and I think it's going to be a good time. You ready?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, happy to have you. We've talked about this a lot, and it's good to have you in the room for this.
Great.
So let's start with the basics. Tell me a little bit about HOAi and what made you start this journey.
Yeah. So it really started from a personal problem or experience. I owned my first home in an HOA community, and I was very active. So I figured I just volunteer to be on the board, understand how the HOA was running. So I got on the board. I saw everything. I was frustrated, frankly, as a homeowner and a board member by a lot of the things that are like just how it was running. So I was really unhappy with the spending, ever increasing dues, just how irresponsive or unresponsive our managers were at the time. So I figured something needs to be changed. And as a software engineer who is thinking about technology and software every day, my natural tendency is to think, okay, how can we build some software or better software and use technology to change it and make it better? So that's how I started everything. That's like the early 2021. We started building software. Really, it started with like more on the consumer side. Being a homeowner, I was looking for better portals, better mobile softwares. We started there, partnered with our property managers, help him manage his portfolio. And then that expanded to more like a comprehensive property management platform. So early on, I was building similar products or products similar to Vantaca. And then that was like kind of a long journey. What we also realized was although we were building a software that we thought was good, there were already good softwares on the market, and it was was already Vantaca and other softwares. So it wasn't purely just the software issue. There was more to that as I learned more and more about it. And in that time frame, I also decided this was a great opportunity. I quit my job with my co-founder, Lai. We became full-time and took this as our like all-in journey. So we were doing this and learning how everything should be working. We actually found a management company as well and managed about 10 communities to learn how this was working. So long story short, I think the key takeaway is we really cared about the industry because it was a personal problem, and we wanted to bring technology and solve the problem. But as we learned in the industry, we figured it wasn't just the software issue, it wasn't because there was not a good software. It was because there were so many things that require humans that were not solvable by previous generation of software. So that coincided with the modern AI, the LLMs and ChatGPTs, which quickly made us realize, hey, that is the solution, because so many of the problems in the industry isn't because we don't have software. It's because there's a lot of communications with homeowners. There's a lot of unstructured data in these documents that are not well structured in the database. And there's so many decisions that the managers have to make. It's hard to describe using code, but it's just requires some judgment that a human would do. So all of those things are the kind of are really primed for LLM or modern AI to solve, generative AI to solve. So that was a big realization as we were in this journey, and we decided, okay, let's use this technology and focus on what things that our current softwares don't address, which is all of those communication problem, unstructured data from documents, lookup, understanding, and also like making decisions how we should process these things, and really just that's why we're building the AI agents using these software. So this was a kind of a long form of my journey, but fast forward now, I think we're building HOAi to be that agent, or to be the human sort of like software that use your software and do these things to be your perfect community managers.
I absolutely love that. When I was working at a management company, I would tell my homeowners so much, hey, if you don't like it, you should run for the board and you can start to make some change. You didn't like it and you've turned the industry upside down. That's
I decided to do the hard work and go the long way.
You went all the way. That's fantastic. And so along the way, like how did Vantaca kind of come into the picture there?
Yeah, as I mentioned a little bit, so when we started, we were kind of trying to solve the problem. We were trying to figure things out. We were building software similar to Vantaca. We were running management company. We were doing everything that we can figure out or explore to solve the problem. And as we were developing our software, we researched other softwares on the market, and Vantaca, being the market leader, obviously was a key part of the system, and we researched very deeply. I think it was interesting to us that Vantaca really differs from other softwares in the sense that it does not only, like, when I think about software, the basic layer of software is you have these operations that support, whether it's accounting, whether it's work orders, all of those things in different domains. So you have these, you can create an order, you can see them, and you can basically search and do these things. That's typically what we call in the industry the system of records. You record these things. It's like a database. You have those things. And I think Vantaca was really interesting to us at the time for its action item system, because it's kind of like a layer, a orchestration layer, a ticket layer on top of these atomic, basic, primitive operations, and it tied these things together into workflows that allow people to do things. So there were two parts of that. One is, as we were developing software, we thought, okay, that's interesting because not only you have these operations, you have something that connect them together. That seems to be great for really, companies that look for scale and processes. So that was kind of an interesting learning initially when we were doing that. But then as we move towards this agentic direction or agent layer and thinking about using AI to build the human, like your collaborators or your AI employees, this system almost became the perfect system for AI to take over, because now AI knows, like looking at how things have been done in the past, then AI knows, okay, here are the things I should do as well. So there's a perfect knowledge base for AI to see and learn, and two, it also, it's the great orchestration system that orchestrate the AI. It's like now we have 3 things that are done by human, then there are 2 things that can be done by AI. So we thought that was the great system. We worked with Vantaca and some of the early customers we had, and then I think we just had a lot of early success, and then Vantaca was really intrigued by our approach and how we thought about this industry, and we thought about we should be able to change it, and that's why last year we decided to partnership, and I think that's kind of the story how we got here.
Okay. I like that. That's good. That's good. From competitors to friends, I guess.
Yeah, I wouldn't say we were competitors per se. I think we were pretty small. We were just exploring the industry. I felt we had pretty good early software, but quickly we had already changed because realizing that wasn't the real problem of the industry, and then there were already great solutions for those problems, like the basic or system of records type of thing.
Right.
But so we decided to do things that were more than or different in that regard. And I think we naturally were complementary to start with when we were doing AI agents. I think it was more of that synergy between the agents and the Vantaca one, the work the action item system that would made it this a great partnership and really something really awesome for us to collaborate on.
Makes sense to me. So in the past, we've talked on this podcast a lot about sort of the shifting role of the management company from more task focused to more relationship focused with the boards and the homeowners. And it sounds like HOAi really kind of fits into that world, right? So can you give us some examples of some management companies that have really been able to change and make great progress with HOAi?
Yeah. So to start off, the way I think about the future is, I think the human elements in this industry are always going to be there. It's not an industry where we think it's going to be just automated away completely. As a homeowner, as a past board member, I like to have that personal real interaction with someone. But also as a homeowner and as a board member or former board member, I want my things to be done quicker. I want to get responses quicker. In a way, I want immediate responses. In a world where like I rely on ChatGPT, I rely on all these software technology I have an expectation of a immediate turnaround. I hate those days, where I have to do something and then they wait 7 days. I have no idea what's going on. So that's kind of the expectation I have, which leads to how we think about HOAi. We built HOAi not to replace that human interaction. I think that human interactions are the critical part of the industry. We try to focus on things that are more on, the back office, the tasks that require people or the management managers or the accountants to do that are not part of that interaction with the homeowner and the board member, because these are the things that people really need to have done quickly, and they're just tasks that need to be done. So frankly, I don't think a lot of managers and accountants enjoy all of those things too, right? Why would you spend all 10 hours sitting in the office doing all of these things, and it's small work, it's grunt work. So we focus on those things and really try to solve those problems. Now, I'm going to give two examples. One example is a large company in Northeast. It's one of our favorite customers, Camco. They have had a lot of success in automating their work in AP, AR, in particular, this accounting part. Their first major success was with AP. So after about a month implementing HOAi in their AP department, their invoice queue kind of shrinked by 70%, just like really quickly. And they saw the results like just in 2 weeks. They started seeing them. And in about a month or so, they were able to move 3 people out of the AP department to support other operations in the business out of 6 people department. So that's like a 50% improvement in the efficiency, and there are things that are being done for them. So that's a big company example. I've got another smaller company. The name is HOA Strategies. They are they're relatively smaller. Their focus is they don't have a lot of people in different departments, but they've been using HOAi to really look at homeowner incoming requests and emails, triage them, and then have our HOAi agent route these things to different downstream department. Give answers to homeowner if it's general inquiries or questions that our AI can handle relatively quickly. So they have been doing 80% of 90% of those things with HOAi. So that gives them a huge efficiency gain there. But more importantly, perhaps, it's the service improvement, and it frees these people up for more important client relationships and interactions.
That's awesome. And so and I think I heard in here with your Camco example, they were able to shift 50% of their workforce to other things within 3 months.
I think it's more like after a month or two that they were able to do
Wow.
that. They started seeing results like 2 weeks in, but then after a month or two, they were able to kind of achieve that kind of big repurposing of their workforce to support other critical areas.
That sounds like that's an incredible time to value, especially for a new software.
Yes. Yeah, I think they the idea of building HOAI is we want to give the industry the perfect CAM manager who is already well experienced and really skilled at using these software. Because when you think about it, the softwares are tools. We want to get the things done, right? And many times we need to train our people to really use it. And it's cumbersome. It's really hard. There are too many screens, and there is a huge learning curve. So if our AI agents, and now being part of the Vantaca family, obviously the benefit is we have full control and understanding of how Vantaca works. So HOAi now is able to access everything in Vantaca and operate Vantaca as if you have someone who has been using Vantaca for 10 years. So that really helps people. Now if you think about that, when you buy Vantaca, you have to train. It's powerful, and then you buy HOAi, who's already aware of how Vantaca works and know how to use it. Then HOAi can just go use your Vantaca software, and that's how we achieve that time to value, because it's already knowing all of these things. And as we grow and scale, we're also learning the best practices of how to run management company, how to solve an invoice or categorize an invoice, how to answer a homeowner question. What's the best practices there? So these things will compound, and our AI will get better and better. And I expect the time to value will just keep going down. So the analogy is, I think we're at a stage where we're giving the smartest Princeton graduate who's been in the industry for maybe a year or two. Now, I think as we keep working on HOAi and learning the industry and working with our customers, at some point when you buy HOAi, it's going to be like a 5-year experienced CAM out of box.
That's phenomenal. That's really good, especially with an industry, and the manager position in general is just very churny, right? There's a lot of turnover in the industry. It's tough. And so being able to find someone with that level of experience and speed, right, and consistency, that's insane.
Yeah, I think so. I think the goal is, again, to have the right AI, agents or workers who are experienced, who are consistent, who are patient to deal with these things, while preserving the most important human elements. So the managers focus on these interactions that are more fulfilling, that are more interesting to everyone, right? I don't think people come to this industry because they want to do these office work. They come to this industry because they want to make the communities better. They want to really help and care for the homeowners. So that's what we enable by giving like really great people, AI agents who are experienced in doing the work and supplementing all of these managers so that they can do better there.
So you've talked a lot about the future, about the next like 3 to 5 years. You want this to be an agent that has 5 years experience, whatever. What do you say to people? There's a lot of talk in the industry now about this in
Hmm.
general and AI and how that changes things. And a lot of people kind of want to wait and see. So what do you say to those people that are not trying to adopt now and are like, let's just see how this turns out?
Yeah. So I think it goes, there are two questions here. The first question is whether, and the second question is when. And so the first question is whether I should adopt AI. And then really the second one, when should I do that? So focusing on the first question, whether I should adopt AI or not, I think we should all absolutely embrace it. It's like one of the it's probably the biggest technological wave in our lifetime. It was like PC computers. It was like in the 2000s. It was like the mobile or cloud in the 2010s, and now it's AI. So this I think is I don't think there are many people doubting this is the technology wave. And similar to how the previous generations of technology have changed the world, I don't think any community management companies today are not using cloud or not using computer. It would be kind of silly to say if you run on paper and pens, right? Like you don't have a computer, you don't have cloud software. So it's going to happen, and I think that kind of answers the weather question. You will adopt AI, but it's more like when and should we do that now? So that's a more nuanced question, right? I think in any industries, I don't think you will I don't think you will lose. I don't think you will go out of business if you don't adopt AI. That's like an exaggeration, and it's too much fear there. But I think it really goes to how you're thinking about your business. Are you thinking about delivering a next level quality of service? Are you thinking about improving your efficiency by a large percentage? It's not like 10% or something. It's like generational difference. It's multiple or order of magnitude difference. Is that something you care about? And if you care about those things, then you start thinking, okay, if I wait, how much time do I have? Do I become late? Do my competitors, do other people in the industry move faster? The tricky part here is, as we see more and more companies, and we, especially HOAi, work with more customers, they're gaining the efficiency and the service improvement, and their homeowners are better served. And that leads to a higher expectation in the industry, in the general homeowner industry. And everyone will start expecting that you provide that level of service. So then that becomes hard for management companies, because if you do it now, you get to dictate and choose your destiny and be an early adopter and push that and lead that chain. If you don't, I think you're still going to be fine, but there's going to be increasing pressure internally on efficiency, on cost, on all of those things. But externally, as everyone raises the expectation of the industry, then you will need to figure out how to meet that increasing customer demand and expectation. Then it's sort of like a double kind of squeeze. So that I think will be harder for a lot of companies. My general recommendation is go dip your toe in and go try it and go be on the leading edge. And I think that's like an investment you have to make. You don't want to lose that. And you want to invest, you want to learn, you want to figure it out, and you want to be on the leading edge so that you can grow your business faster. You can make make it more profitable. You can have better employee retention because they are having a better experience themselves. You can have better homeowner reviews because they're getting a lot better services. So
I like that. I've talked to a lot of people and they say, it's going to happen. You might as well do it. But I really like the way you framed it in that the homeowner expectation and the board expectation is going to shift, just like when drive-through restaurants started and when cable TV came in and now streaming, and everyone's like, okay, now I want this now, right? And so it's going to really be that the market is going to dictate. You kind of have to.
Right. And I think it's going to be profound because it's going to serve as sometimes as, the way homeowners interact. Maybe homeowners expect, for example, to call you and get answered by HOAi voice. But in other cases, it will be homeowners expect you to turn around faster in general. Like
they already do.
your back office things. Because now when we think about this, our homeowner responses, like for people who are using HOAi for homeowner inquiries and responses, they've seen, their time shrinked from 7 days to maybe 1 day or 2 or less than that. So that's kind of the change that's happening right now. And they will expect that more and more.
We've talked a little bit about how this is going to shift the mindset of people. We've talked about some really good examples of how this is changing lives today, both for the homeowners and for the employees. What are you most excited about with HOAi and this industry, and how do you want to get there?
Yeah, I think I'm going back to my origin or the origin of HOAi. I was a homeowner. I was a board member. I care about having a better experience living in an HOA. And I think these are all the means. We're building, whether at Vantaca, we're building the best system of record software or workflow orchestration software, or at HOAi, we're building the best agents that are able to operate these software and providing the services like humans would do. These are means to help management companies to be better, and with a goal that we want to make the industry and living in communities better. So I have this bold hope or dream that is making HOA not a name like people somewhat dislike and shy away from. I want people to feel proud of living in HOA. I want people who work in the industry to feel proud of them working in the industry. When I think about that, I'm like, I want people to feel like renters if they're homeowners in HOA. They're being taken care of. They're having a great time in a community. So then, if that's my goal, everything I'm doing now is to try to achieve that goal, is to make the industry better, to make HOAs a great place to live in. So I'm doing everything I can to make that happen.
The Haoyu of 4 years ago is probably very, very proud of you today.
Well, I think I am still who I was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. I want to say thank you very much for coming out. This has been a great conversation. I've really liked hearing your story and finding your perspective on this. I've heard a lot of other people talk about you without you in the room. And so it's really good to get from you kind of where.
Finally.
Yeah, right? It's been a while. So if anybody wants to follow you on socials, do you have LinkedIn or anything?
Yes, I do have LinkedIn. So it's just my name, Haoyu Zha. And then also my email is open to anyone. So if you want to shoot me an email, talk about anything HOAi, talk about anything HOA, happy to have a conversation.
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks again for your time. And this has been Guilty by Association.
And that's a wrap for this episode of Guilty by Association, the Vantaca podcast. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, leave a review, and share with your friends. Got a topic you'd like us to cover? Let us know. And until next time, remember, we're all guilty by association.